This will not be an in-depth tutorial on how to create every assessment type in the new assessments package. However, it'll be a little bit of an overview, and I'll encourage you to get in there and explore and just try out some of the different strategies and test types as you get in there. So first of all, you're going to add the material as you've always added it. So you click Add Materials in Schoology, but now you'll go down and click Add Assessment. So the test quiz is the old version, Add Assessment is the new test or quiz feature. Then you'll still get the Create Assignment dialog box, but you'll notice that the Enable Disable piece for the submissions has been moved to here. Just makes it a little quicker and more easily accessible. By clicking the gear icon, you can quickly go in and edit it and change it to Enable Disable. So there's a new location for that. You will have 3 tabs at the top when you get into creating a test. You'll have Setup, Questions, and Student Attempts. So this is the setup bar, and you'll notice that there are different options than we had before. So some of them are the same, some are different. So there's actually students can use a calculator during the attempt. And if you say yes, you can choose basic or scientific. So that's a new feature. Students can use a ruler during the attempt. There's a virtual ruler that'll pop up. You can choose no, or choose a 15-centimeter ruler or a 6-inch ruler. So those are new options, and you can kind of review the different choices that are there. Student settings, there are again choices for do they see their answers, no, yes, or yes with the correct answer. That's the same. And now there's not an unlimited attempt, I don't believe, but a 1 through 20. But just slight change on that. But review the different options in there. Then if you click on the Questions tab at the top, you'll see all the new question types listed down the left-hand side. The old ones are at the top and the new ones are toward the bottom. We're hopeful that there'll be a couple more question types still coming, but this is what's available now. Once the questions have been added, they'll appear in here and you can click and drag to rearrange them. The point totals are over here, quickly and easily accessible. And then there are 3 dots on the right-hand side that you can click if you want to edit or delete that question. If you want to click just the title of the question, you can edit it that way as well. When you get inside the questions and start creating them, you'll see that there's 2 tabs at the top. There's one where you design the question, then there's another one now that says possible responses. And this lets you add multiple correct answers or partially complete answers. Again, I'm not going to go into all the detail on this, but you can choose the correct answer, and then if you hit the plus here, you can add an alternate correct or partially correct answer. So they got close, but they didn't quite get it. You can do some of that, and there's different options with that. You can still add your learning objectives down at the bottom, the same as in the past. And another new feature is to add author notes. And now that's really for co-teachers in the class, where you can provide some rationale for what the question was supposed to be. That could be really effective for multiple or for short answer completion type questions. Here you can see in the different question type, multiple choice in this case, it just looks a little bit different. So you can do your correct answer. When you click that, then it gives you some other pop-ups. You can even put distract or rationale so that the other teachers teaching the course know why you chose that as a distractor. You would check this box down here if you want to do that. There's some alternate layout options, so you can see the first layout is vertical, but you could click to horizontal and it would appear like this. So a few different options than what we had in the previous version. Now, the preview piece is part that we're still hoping will get corrected, because right now you can only preview an individual question. So if you click that, you'll see what it'll look like to the student, but you cannot preview the entire test. Because of that, you can't print the test at this time, so that is a limitation. The question setup piece is also at the top of the page when you get in there, and the correct answers then are set below the question. So you can see you set up the question up here, and then you set the correct answer below that. So just a slightly different display inside of the question creation. The third tab at the top is the student attempts. So when you click that, you can see the student results. The interface is slightly different than it was in the old version, but still the same types of information available to you. Here you can see one that is in process. And now there are a few limitations because this is in beta. down in the black, you'll see on the bottom that the ability to convert old tests to new assessment types will be released in the future. And because that's not out quite yet, it is a bit of a limitation. But if you keep creating in the old version, you should eventually be able to convert those to the new. If you want the new question types, however, you'll need to use the new assessment format. Then a couple other limitations in the resources. You cannot author an assessment in resources. That's hopefully coming soon. And you cannot share an assessment to public resources. So you have to build them in your course. Assessment grading. There are exception codes in the gradebook. We're not really using all that right now, but they should be coming later. And then changing the correct answer of a question does not retroactively rescore existing submissions as it does in the other current test quiz versions. So just make sure you have that test correct before your students start taking it, because you will not be able to go back and change the answers. Assessments with submissions. Again, you can't change the point value of a question once the test has begun, so it's not a retroactive edit. And if you delete a question, it breaks resumable attempts. So if a student has started an attempt and you delete a question, the test is just not going to load. So just again, make sure the test is ready to go once you put it out to students, and students, once they've started taking it, you're not going to be able to change that test for them. Some limited functionality. Again, there's no full preview. That's kind of a big one we're waiting for. It's a bit difficult to resize images, and you cannot print. So if we need accommodations for students, we're not going to be able to print those. There's no audio video recording built in it yet, like there is in the old version on your essay questions. You cannot attach audio or video files to questions, but you can embed them. So if you have a YouTube video or something, that can still be embedded. There's no automatic student feedback yet in the test, as in the test quizzes today. So you can't, if they click false, you can't give them custom feedback for that false answer. There's no question level comments as it exists right now. So again, you can't add comments depending on what they click on. And the new question assessments are not in the Parent Digest email. I don't think that's a big deal for most people. But one big one that is still in limbo is the no student completion rules. So if you're using conditional folders where students have to work through things in order, those completion rules do not yet work. So just some things to think about. We do encourage you to get in there and explore the new question types, but just realize some of these limitations that will exist until the full version is released.